goes on. We get through extra time with 10 men, and Stephen Darby scores the penalty that sends us to Wembley, which
That was a good one.
Swindon fans and like people my age, it's like the standout moment, I'd say. Holloway's come in and sort of created it into a fortress. Like for teams coming in now, they're going, Swindon's a tough place to go to.
Tough. That's acceptable.
Oh,
5-1 away at Carlisle is acceptable, all right? No problem at all. 1-0 at home to Chesterfield. So, welcome back to Life for Kitman. A slightly different one this week. As you will have seen, we got a new shirt for this week. We've got a full new kit, all white. Goalkeepers are in green, as you might see behind us if you're watching. And so we're going to talk about motor neurons disease. We're going to talk about the foundation. We're going to talk about the kit and why we're doing it. We're going to talk about other things that we've done previously around the kit and that. But before we start, we want to talk about...
Yeah, we haven't done a pod just us two in a little while now, to be fair.
Yeah, a little while.
So let's talk about sort of since Holloway come in and the turn of the year. Obviously, we've had Holloway on the podcast. We've had Namdi, Harry recently. If you haven't listened to them, go and listen to them now because they're really good ones, some really insightful stories. But this calendar year already, since the turn of 2025, we've already scored 33 goals.
Mad.
Which is the most in League Two.
Yeah.
We 12 home games unbeaten. We've not lost at home since Morecambe in November.
Mad.
Which is the longest home unbeaten run that we've had in 5 years, which I believe is the Richie Wellens year.
And we were trying to figure this out earlier. I think it was probably from Stevenage onwards.
Yeah, we'll have to have a look at that.
But we'll have to have a look.
Like, the county ground, maybe since we've started the job, maybe the last 10 years, I don't know, I feel like our away form's always been slightly better.
Yeah.
So it's nice that we've actually, like, Holloway's come in and sort of created it into a fortress. Like, for teams coming in now, they're going, Swindon's a tough place to go to.
Tough place.
Not even if they're, like, we're not necessarily winning every game, we're drawing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's games where...
Yeah, if you can't win, don't lose.
Yeah.
I think that's...
I think he said something like the other day, like, you go into the season with 46 points, don't you?
Yeah, they're yours to lose.
They're yours to lose.
Because you start every game with a point.
So it's nice that we've made that into, like, we've made the county ground to a bit of a fortress again. We scored 61 goals this season, which is the joint second with 4 other teams.
How many did we score last year?
I think
70 odd,
77.
77, but we conceded 80 something.
Yeah, 77 goals. So I don't think we're going to get to that this year.
Another 16 goals.
There's
in
only
5
5 goals left, but 61 goals. Only Walsall have scored more goals on 7. They've scored 72, which is 11 more than any other team.
Good maths.
Good maths for me, quick maths. But yeah, there's 3 other teams. Doncaster, Notts County and Chesterfield have all scored 61.
Yeah.
So...
We've done all right.
And we've now got a +4 goal difference because for ages it was just on 0, wasn't it?
Yeah, and at the weekend. I had a look the other day. In the last 24 games, we're 3rd in the league. If there was a league table for the last 24 games, we're 3rd in the league with a goal difference of +12, which is incredible. Only Bradford and Colchester.
We've had, even like our away form to start with wasn't very good at all, but we've had the weekend just gone, Fleetwood 4-0 in the sun. You know, we had 500 fans up there. It was hot. Everyone had sun cream on. You come in at half time and I was looking at you and I said, Steve, you need to get some sun cream on.
And we're 2 days later and I'm all right.
But your face was red.
Didn't burn though, did I?
Your face was redder than...
Didn't burn though, did I?
Your face was more
Because you were like, oh, you're burnt. And I was like, I'm not
Your
burnt.
face was more red than their kit.
Well...
Honestly, we're stood in the
changing room. By the time we got home, it wasn't.
We're stood in the changing room and I was looking... you could put some on. But everyone had sun cream on. It was that hot.
There's nothing wrong with putting sun cream on, people.
But, yeah, so we won 4-0 there, which was... Can't say I didn't expect it because we scored 61 goals. But
to be fair, we thought it was going to be a really tough afternoon.
Obviously, Fleetwood were only 6 points off the playoffs and had won quite a few games in a row and had good form going into the game. So I was thinking it's going to be quite a tough game, but obviously proved...
that we were
all right. Obviously, we had quite a few injuries as well.
Yeah, we did really well.
But yeah, we obviously had the Carlisle game as well. I keep saying obviously. I said obviously about 5 times in the last 2 minutes.
We could do a counter.
We'll have to do a counter.
We haven't done
I
one
just
of them in a
realised I
long
just said it
time.
loads, so I'm going to try not to say that again.
Obviously.
But yeah, we had Carlisle where we won 5-1 as well. So we've had some high
That
scoring.
was you with your little fist pumps, wasn't it, at the end?
Yeah. That was forced upon me. Like, we obviously, I've just said it again. We went round to the away end because for the whole game we stood in the tunnel because they had nowhere for us to sit. So we're stood in the tunnel. We were stood with John McGregor and Grant, who travelled, that weren't in the squad. And we were 3-0 up, I think, at that point, or maybe 2-0 up, and their fans around us. It's all terrace, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they were...
We had been stood there for 70 minutes.
Yeah.
And no one had said a word. And then all of a sudden, they started going off at us.
Yeah,
then the steward was like, no, you can't stand here. I was like, I've been here for 70 minutes,
He's like,
mate.
you're going to have to go in a change room. I said, with all due respect, we worked all week. We've travelled up here. You know, the game wouldn't be happening right now
if we didn't do our job.
I want to watch the game. So I went to see another steward and I said, look, can we go over to the away end then? So we went over to the away end. Swindon fans said, sing us a song. So I've lost my voice, didn't I? I had a mad voice break.
Brilliant.
And then, they weren't going to let us go back round, and we just thought, right. So we just walked onto the pitch and obviously went and seen all the players and were like...
They were like, oh, you can't come back. I was like, I can, and I will. So I did.
But yeah, it's been a positive few months since the change.
See, now, just going back to the fist bump in a sec, right? That's acceptable. 5-1 away at Carlisle is acceptable, all right? No problem at all. 1-0 at home to Chesterfield. I don't know.
But if people were making you do it, dragging you over, would you?
I would never do it. I would never.
The best one was Walsall.
Yeah. Yeah, Walsall.
Because we were on some real good
That's
form.
what I'm saying. Walsall away, when you're beating top of the league, acceptable. Decent. Carlisle away, 5-1, decent. 1-0 at home to Chesterfield.
I just had a thought. We haven't got to drive past Walsall again this year.
Thank the Lord for that.
What a shame. Now we only just Grimsby and Gillingham away to go.
Are they going to mess it up?
Don't know.
Are they going to... In my head, they're messing it up. They're going to finish in the playoffs. The reason I keep looking over there is because Matt's here. We haven't had Matt for ages. And Matt's here. So, hi, Matt. Welcome back to the world.
Absolute
of
pleasure to see
Mad Mash Media.
Matt and his smart, and he's laughing now. Absolute pleasure to see.
Chuckling away.
Yes, pleasure.
Brilliant.
But yeah, we haven't got to go past Walsall again.
Thank the Lord.
Anything could happen. Anyone could end up in the top 3, and there's quite a few teams still pushing for playoffs. So
mathematically, it's not over. It's not over.
But yeah, the amount of teams,
it probably is. But
the amount of teams that are going for automatics and how tight it is up there. Obviously, we're playing Bradford, which we'll come on to in a minute, this weekend, and they've had, I think they were 12th at Christmas, was it?
Mad.
Around Christmas, and they've obviously now first.
That 24 game table I was talking about, they were top.
Yeah.
They were like 7 points ahead of us in the last 24
and
games.
The last couple of games, they've had 22,000, I think, for the last 2 games.
And people will say, oh, it's because tickets are cheap. But
you still got to get people through the door.
Also, what's wrong with that?
Yeah.
What's wrong with them giving away tickets to fill up their ground and
22,000, like...
If you can get the numbers through the door.
Yeah, but you can't make people come. Do you know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
22,000 people have decided
to... It's a massive city, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, and they're a huge club.
So that's, yeah. I mean, I'd have liked to have gone there. I would like to be going there instead of them coming here. I'd like to see that full, to be fair.
Yeah.
Because it's only safe still had 16,000, 17,000.
Yeah, when we went. Yeah.
When we went, but obviously 5 games left, 3 home, 2 away. And then
still some travelling to do, isn't there?
Yeah, Grimsby and
Gillingham.
Because Gillingham's a horrible journey.
Horrible. It's not a fun away day. Tiny little changing room.
Yeah.
Tiny.
And Grimsby's
weird. Not much better, is it?
But yeah.
Good chippy at Grimsby though.
What's it called?
I can't remember.
Fry and fish.
It's just around the corner. I can't remember what it's called.
I think it's called Fry and Fish.
Is it? Is that not what that used to be called?
Oh, is that what that was called?
Yeah. Before it was Magic Chippy. Yeah, and you can get scraps and stuff, which you don't get down here, but you get it up there. I'm going to be all over that on Saturday.
Or do you like scraps?
Sorry, it's not Saturday, is it? That's a Friday.
It's next Friday.
Yeah.
Easter weekend.
I'll be all over that.
Hopefully it's a good Friday.
Yeah.
But let's get on to
Good for you.
let's get on to this weekend then, and obviously supporting MND.
Obviously.
I've just said obviously again
Obviously.
for the 16th time. But yeah, so behind this cushion, obviously you've already seen it behind.
You've seen it online, and you probably all
was
bought it.
4 seasons ago or five seasons ago? If you're watching, you can see the purple kit behind us for the Darby Rimmer MND Foundation.
Had some good days in that as
That
well,
was
didn't we?
against Bradford, which was in January 2020. The game was 1-1. Jerry Yates scored.
We wore it a few times, didn't we?
I remember the Saturday morning of that game. The queue to buy that shirt was from the club shop all the way down to the other end of the town then. And they sold them all within like half an hour to an hour.
We wore it early doors in the season as well, didn't we?
Yeah.
At Exeter.
Yeah. Yeah, we wore that one multiple times.
Yeah.
But yeah, we obviously wore it against Bradford because Stephen Darby played
Of course.
for Bradford and
Yeah. Wore it at home.
scored in our lifetime, the most important, the best goal in my opinion, which we'll come on to in a minute.
Best night.
But here's the shirt for the weekend. An all-white shirt, obviously with Darby Rimmer Foundation on the front.
It's nice. Stripes
And it's
down
going
the
to be
side.
all white, so that'll be nice.
Yeah, white shorts, white socks.
And all the shirts that are worn on Saturday's game will go on match worn shirt.
If you want to know more about Match One Shirt, click on that video that's directly above me that I will have put a little linky to there on the YouTube.
So they'll all be put on there, and the money will go to this foundation, which is a great
Darby
cause.
Rimmer.
And they're obviously on sale now. You might have seen the club have put a link on Twitter and Instagram. They're on, if you click the link, they're on sale now as well. So you can go and buy them and put some money into the foundation.
£5 from every shirt bought goes to the foundation.
But yeah, it's nice that we're doing it against Bradford again. Obviously, Stephen Darby played quite a bulk of his career at Bradford. And as I just said, that night at Charlton at the Valley, where he scored the penalty that sent us to Wembley. Unfortunately, we obviously lost at Wembley against Millwall. But in my lifetime, I'm only 24. So
It's the best away day I've had.
yeah.
I would
And you
say.
think like being at the top of League One to go to Wembley.
Sheffield United away is close
Yeah.
because we scored the late goal. But that night in Charlton was a joke.
We won 2-1 here, obviously, and then we went 2-0 down.
Well, the game was mad.
Yeah, we went 2-0 down. Gordon Greer got sent off. We then, John Paul McGovern on the break goes through and we score.
And Wardy tucked it under the keeper.
Under Randolph, and we score. And then it goes on. We get through extra time with 10 men. And Stephen Darby scores the penalty that sends us to Wembley, which
That was a good night.
Swindon fans and like people my age, it's like the standout moment, I'd say.
They kept us in the ground for ages after the match, which was fine. Because we were all just like, everyone's going mad because we were off to Wembley and that.
Yeah.
And then the players all come over and they were all in the crowd with the fans and that.
Yeah.
It was a proper good night.
And obviously we wore this blue shirt that's behind me, which we love this shirt, don't we?
Yeah, it's my favourite shirt. Purely for memories.
Yeah.
That night was...
Derby
made it.
21 on the back. So
We wore it at Leeds as well when we won 3-0.
Yeah.
So that was another top away day.
But yeah, so obviously Bradford fans are quite passionate about this as well.
Of
I know
course,
we spoke
yeah.
to Dom the Kitman, who we've also had on the pod before. He when it came out yesterday, he messaged straight away saying how good it is. I know that Bradford fans are bringing down a big flag,
banner. Yeah,
a big banner. So it should be really good, and hopefully it raises a lot of money for...
And awareness as well.
Yeah.
Because a third of people that get MND pass away within 2 years, which is such a short span from when you're diagnosed to when you pass. But obviously, Stephen's had it for, what did we figure out, 7 years?
Yeah.
And he's still going strong, so...
Yeah, he had to retire at football at 29, which
Yeah.
in football's sort of your prime time, really, isn't it?
Certainly is.
So they say like your prime's late 20s. So unfortunately, he had to retire then.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, if you can see it, obviously, if you're listening on audio, you can't see it. But the goalkeeper shirt is a green version of the same shirt as the away one, as the outfield one. I quite like how traditional it is. I'm not so sure the goalies like wearing green.
Yeah, they were saying
They're
earlier,
having a bit of
they're not sure about the green, but
bit of a
traditionally,
cry about it,
green
but
is
it's a goalie, isn't it?
well, and Swindon, like historically, it's a.
And I mean, if we're talking white kits, 69 cup final, all white, green goalie.
I mean, we decided to wear it at Wembley against Millwall because of.
Yeah, because of 69. That was that day. That was that year.
Yeah. Which didn't really.
Didn't work for us.
It didn't work.
But no, I love the kit. It looks really nice. If you want to get your hands on one, the link's on all of the official stuff. We'll put a link on all of our socials as well, so you can get that.
Yeah.
They're going to be available in the shop as well on Saturday. So when you come to the game, pop in the shop and grab yourself one if you don't want to do it online. Other than that, I think that about wraps us up. Is there anything else we got, or we're about ready to wrap up?
Yep.
Yeah, so if you come into the game, come and enjoy it. It'll be a good occasion.
Yeah.
Be a big crowd there, bringing a lot.
They've sold out, haven't they? So.
Yeah, they've sold out their corner there. But yeah, see you next time.
Cheers,
All right,
guys.
forget one.